Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Leadership from the Heart. I am your host, Romie, and today we're going to do the show a little different. I told you guys we were going to be inviting friends on the show so that they can interview me, and we're getting those scheduled. But in the meantime, ChatGPT is going to be my friend today. And so I told Chat that I wanted the most authentic, unleashed, episode, and I asked it to generate questions that would kind of bring me to my edge. Just knowing that it's time for me to get to the edge of myself and just present and, kind of get over the whole fear of being seen thing. And so here we go, right? And so I broke it down into 5 sections. And the first section is the self, identity, wholeness, integration. Then it's relationships, love, lessons, and letting go. Number four, or part four, is work and leadership, redefining success. And there's 2 more parts. So I was wrong. There's 6 parts or 5. I'm not really sure what I said at the beginning, but it's spirit, God, guidance, and surrender. And then the last part is unleash power, voice, and becoming. And so I have read the first part. I've read 3 of the questions, and it's pretty vulnerable. So let's just get into it. We're already a minute and a half in. So the first question is, who am I when no one's watching? And because I've had time to think about that question, I can say that I'm kind of a goofball, even by myself. I laugh a lot by myself. I still dance. I do, nightly concerts, to to wind down for bed. Just because like that's what feels good right now. So um that's what's coming to mind about who I am when no one's watching. What is something, question 2 is, what is something you're afraid to say out loud until now? Again, had time to think about this question. And while I was like running through like all the things to say, it came that, I was afraid to say that I'm happy, because when you're happy, you usually wait for the other shoe to drop. And I don't feel like the other shoe's going to drop anymore. And so I don't, I've been saying that I am happy, like to other people, but not to myself as often. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy right now. What question number 3? What parts of me have I outgrown? I think for the most part, I've outgrown the part of me that negotiates with myself for like doing things that like don't really align with the vision or the life that I'm trying to create. And so even like, I don't know, let's use something as simple as dieting. Um, it's not as hard to say no to like dessert anymore. It's just not, I don't know, it's just completely out of like your frame of negotiating with that part of yourself as if um, the thing had more power over you than you did it. So I think that that's a part that I've definitely alchemized within the last like 9 or 10 months, and it feels pretty good. Question number 4: what parts of me still need love, more grace, more expression? Ooh. Um, the part of me that needs more grace, love, and expression is going to be the part of me that still seeks external validation. Just recently, my best friend and I were talking, and I was like struggling with this external validation thing, and I'm and trying to shake it or understand it. um I was just like, oh shit, like it's all about self validation. Like I can validate myself. I don't need anybody else's like opinion or anything like that. And we were both like, oh yeah, like that feels really good. So I would definitely say self validation is where I'm working at right now. Question number 5: what does freedom feel like in my body today, and what does it cost? Not really sure what it meant by what does it cost. However, freedom in my body today feels like discipline, feels like, I don't know, feels like home. Yeah, like I feel like I don't want to say I'm getting my body back, but like because it's not about the body, but it is about who you become when you're getting your body back. So like that chasing that, it feels really, really good right now. And what does it cost? I'm not really sure what that question is, so we're going to just skip it. All right, on to the next part, relationships, love, lessons, and letting go. Question number 6. What have my relationships taught me about myself, especially the ones that didn't last? One, that you're going to be okay, regardless of relationship, right? I really, really love being in relationship. I think, I think I'm pretty good at it. What a thing to say, huh? No, I think I'm pretty good at it. And I think that, that stability of having someone, it really resonates with me deeply. And, you know, teaching myself or remembering that, you know, you're going to be okay after a relationship is like, man, that's money, dude. Because you can't see it when you're in it. You really, really can't see it when you're in it. And so having that as a reference point is good. I don't want to need those reference points as much, but it's still good to remember that. Question number 7: where have I settled out of fear? Oh man, where have I settled out of fear? I think that, I don't know. I think that in not taking action, or like, I could say that like currently ready for the next evolution of my life. And it's only because I've gotten to where this is now, and this was what I wanted then. And so, you know, when you get to this place where you're ready for the next thing, it seems like you manifested this thing that you wanted before out of fear. Because you're like, why didn't I dream bigger? If I wanted this, you know what I mean? Like the guy who asked for $10,000 instead of asking for 100,000, because then when he manifests the 10,000, he's just like, why didn't I ask for more money? So like, I would say that, if that makes sense to anybody else, it really makes sense to me. So I think like just being ready for the next evolution of my life is, where it feels like I'm settling, but I know that I'm not. I'm super grateful for where I am. Um, let's go to the next question. Question number 8: where have I stayed too long out of love? I mean, when you know better, you do better, right? And so, the reasons why people stay, um, I don't know. I think that like this question is so interesting because I think everything is like perfect. I don't know if like stay too you could stay too long, but I don't know if you, for the length of time that you were there, whatever that time is, I think it's perfect, right? I think like in my mind, I study Kabbalah. And so let me take a couple steps back so I can, explain myself. So in the study of Kabbalah, they say that, your destiny is basically your destiny. It's already written. And so when you make a wrong, quote unquote, decision, your source, your God, your universe, doesn't get upset, right? He doesn't get mad. He's not spiteful. But there's just a reroute that happens, right? So just imagine, back in the day when you would use your GPS or your Garmin, and the GPS would say turn right, and let's say you missed a turn or you turn left for some reason. And so the GPS doesn't like, oh, you stupid fuck, it doesn't do all that. It just says rerouting. And so, yeah, it may take a little longer, but you're always going to get to your destiny, is what Kabbalah says. And so staying too long is giving the, impression, is at least the way I'm reading it, that things aren't perfect. And so I say everything is perfect, and you're always going to get where you're supposed to be going as long as you're open to, learning the lessons and like sort of, I would say, healing yourself, but that's such a big word to use. But yeah, like just uncovering what there is. And so, I don't think I've stayed anywhere too long, just to answer the question. Question number 9: what kind of love do I believe I deserve now, and how has that changed? Um, hmm. What kind of love do I believe I deserve now? I'd say just love. I don't think what we were doing prior was love. I think we thought it was love. Um, but it had like hooks and it had like small holes in it and it had a little bit of jealousy and a little bit of envy and a little bit of competition. And what I've been asking for in the past, I don't know, since May is for like a pure heart, like to love, like for real. Like, I'll give you an example. Um, Giving a gift or giving an invitation or giving anything to anybody with absolutely zero strings, zero hooks attached to it, right? And so for me, that feels very pure. And so if there is something that I want to give, I don't give it until I feel that there are zero strings attached to it. I'm not doing it for their attention. I'm not doing it so they'll go out with me. I'm not doing it so they like me. I'm not doing it for any other reason other than I have overflow. I thought of you, and this is what I would like you to have. Simple, simple, simple. And that shit's hard. That's really, really hard, especially for someone who used to work for love. Giving something without an expectation of receiving something for it, it's unnerving, right? It'll really jack you up if you go there, and you have to go there because that's where the heart gets pure. Like when I think about a pure heart, I think about a pure heart that gets purified going through fire, because that's what it feels like. It feels like you're going through a fire when you're actually like uncovering that, programming that we have there. And so um I just want like the purest kind, the one that lets you be who you are and meet you where you are, but doesn't like leave you there. It sounds very biblical, but that's what I want for sure. The next part is work and leadership, redefining success. Funny enough, this has, oh no, it still has 4 questions. I was going to say it only has 2 questions. Um, Question number 10: what parts of success no longer feel aligned for me? Um, I'd say in my professional life, um, needing to be the one, right? Needing to be the one everybody needed, everybody wanted to talk to. That used to fill my cup up. And it used to make me feel really good inside that people needed me. Obviously, it feels good to be needed, but I would say that that no longer feels like success for me. I think it's a little draining now if I'm not careful with how much I outpour or where I'm at, right? And it still feels good, when people tell you they need you and stuff like that. But I don't think that that is how I would define success. I don't necessarily need that anymore. Although, I don't want people to need me. I want people to like, I want other people to be needed as well. And that was on me, right? That's delegation and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that answers the question. Question 11: where have I sacrificed my softness for performance? Um, Early on in my career, I did not know how to have that tough conversation or that courageous conversation. And so I kind of just deemed that our benchmark or our standard was like there in the middle. And looking back, uh, you don't know what you don't know, but looking back, that we could have been better. We could have been much better. We were good. I want to say we were like I don't know, like an 8 out of 10, but damn, I left 2 points on the table. So yeah, now I would say having tougher conversations early on about performance. It means nothing. It's just performance, right? And I can better articulate that now to someone, whereas before, my performance was part of my identity, and so I projected onto people that their performance was their identity. And so I was unable to have the difficult conversation because I was attached to it in so many words. So yeah. Question number 12. How am I redefining what it means to lead, to win, to matter? Okay, ChatGPT. Redefining what it means to lead. Right now, I'd say that I am in my like fiercest leadership place. I think I'm just like saying the thing directly without like softening the blow or pampering people, and only those that I have obviously a relationship with, so that they know where I'm coming from. But I'd say like redefining leading and winning right now is you just gotta so many things, but like in lead you gotta lead the way you need to, right? Everybody leads differently. Lead, you've got to lead the way you do. And for me right now, that means high performance, very direct. We're going through a big project, and so you need people's best performance. You need very little conversation around why we're going in this direction. We just need to go. And I can catch you up later, kind of a thing, is what's going on right now. And so that's what I would redefine it in this season. And how do you matter? You matter when you decide you matter. Um, you know, a lot of leaders sit inside conference rooms and tables or Zoom calls or whatever, and you're back in like middle school, where you want to raise your hand, you want to say the thing, you have a question, and you don't ask. You don't say the thing, even when they say anybody else, because you don't want to either be the person that has something else, because we know how we feel about those type of people, or you don't want to sound what you think may be silly or dumb. And those are the kinds of things that take you out of the game without you even being able to step into it. So you matter. Say the thing. Who cares what people are going to say or what people are going to think? For real, for real. You matter when you matter. Okay. Number 13. What's the hardest decision I've made in my work life, and what did it cost me? When it says what did it cost me, I automatically go to like costing you like your job. And I've been fired before. I worked for a roadside company, and I can't really remember what happened. I want to say it was along the lines of a decision I made, obviously, and a disagreement. And damn. Anyways, so a disagreement. I think I lost my shit on my manager at the time, and I was sent home, and it was very high stress that day or in that moment or whatever. And I was sent home, and I was brought back by the owner, and he asked me what happened, and I, matter of fact, told him what happened. And I think the manager wanted like an apology, and I was just like, oh, sorry. I was like, 20 years old. I was just like, nah, I don't need this job. I still live at home. We're good. And so, it's not the hardest decision I've ever made in my work life. I think letting someone go is definitely the hardest decision you can ever make as a leader. That's you never like you. That's why, like, okay, I'm gonna go off on a little tangent here. That's why leadership is so important, right? Because if you have a good heart, you know that letting someone go is by far like one of the worst things that can happen for them and for you to have to deliver that news. And so for me to not have to deliver that news, I try everything in my arsenal before we have to walk down that path. And like, I think that that's what makes me a good leader when it comes to that, because we've never gone to the table where someone's like, I didn't deserve that. I didn't mess up. You didn't give me 100 chances, unless it's something super egregious where there's no, 100 chances, then obviously you got to make the decision there. But like, we've never gone to the table and you don't know what's going on. And like, we haven't had multiple conversations and we don't say like all the nice things to each other at that parting. Like, never, 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 never. Because I'm going to try everything I have to never have to be there. But if we have to go there, you know, we both tried, and that's what matters. That's what really matters. So, next part is spirit, God, guidance, and surrender. What does God, spirit, or source sound like in my life right now? Like a really, really, really good friend. Like, like the most gentle, you know, firm ally I have. And I say friend because it's not that I don't associate God as a father. I do, but it's much easier than to receive the guidance because of like the relationship I have with my dad. It's not bad, guys. It's just, we're like, he's human, and so it's hard to look at. I grew up looking at God like he was a human, and it skewed my vision, or my, like, the presence of it in my life, the presence of God in my life. And so now it's like a really good ally, like the best friend I've been. It's wild, but amazing, amazing, amazing. Next question: where am I being asked to surrender, and where am I still gripping too tightly? Again, I go back to the validation, external validation for sure. As far as being surrendered and gripping too tightly, I don't know if there's like a specific place that I'm gripping too tightly. I feel that as soon as I can see it, I kind of loosen my grip almost immediately, just because I know how the story ends. And so I loosen my grip pretty quickly. Um, but I don't know what I don't know. So we'll leave that there. And if something comes up, I'll come back to it. Next question is: when was the last time I truly trusted the process, and what happened next? Trusting the process. I'd say in this season right now, I am trusting the process most of the time. I am really self-aware of when I'm not living in like integrity, or when I'm not living in like who I say I am. And once I get that inkling, once God wants me to have that view, because I'm sure I'm going through it all the time, but I don't see it. And once I see it, or have like someone tell me about it, then I'm obviously aware of it, and I process it pretty quickly. And I'd say that it is like 1,000 pounds lifted off of your shoulders, is what happened after. What happens every time after. But a really cool story, as I'm being guided back to this book, is The Alchemist. The Alchemist is a phenomenal book by Pablo Coelho. And I've read it like 3 times, and I've heard it like once or twice. It's like a reread for me. Anytime, I'm being called to read it. I'm being called right now, and I'm resisting. Ah, look at that. That's where I'm gripping. So there you go. Um, so read this other book called like The Prophecy of it just left me. The it's right there. Celeste, Celeste, Celestial Prophecy, something like that. I'll put it in the show notes. Phenomenal book about spirituality and like the 5D and stuff like that. But I finished that book and I was like, oh, okay, like what's next? Like I think I was praying, and I jump online real quick and somebody posts The Alchemist, and I'm like, oh, cool, the so and so's reading The Alchemist, but like a small voice told me like that's the next book, and I'm like, I already read that. Like, why would you ask me to read that again? And so I didn't. And then I go downstairs and I'm like hanging out or whatever. And I forget what I'm doing. And I spend the day downstairs. I come back upstairs and I see the book. And I'm like, wow, I noticed the book, is what I'm trying to say. Like I noticed it on the bookshelf. And I'm like, that's really weird that my eyes would go there to where the book is. But okay, I'm going to be a little bit more obedient. And I like grab the book and I put it on my nightstand. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like almost like, God, look, like, like I can fool God. Like it's right here. My intention is to open it, but like, my intention is not to open it or anything like that. And so on my nightstand for like 2 weeks. And then I'm at work. This has to be like a month later of like this stupidness going back and forth, many signs online, like someone say something about alchemy, all these things. And my boss comes in and he's just like, hey, his wife got me a book. She said that she thinks you'll love it. It's The Fucking Alchemist. I'm like, okay, God. All right. I got it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I call his wife like my godmother, which is really funny. And so I read the book, and what it did inside of me was wow. I can't explain it. It'll have to be its own little podcast. But yeah, that, like, I didn't trust the process, but it still happened. Anyways, we'll get back to it. So question number 17, what's a moment I now see as divine, even though it didn't feel it at the time? I mean, I guess you could use The Alchemist for that, so that we don't repeat any kind of things like that. Like what I have noticed with me is, we've talked about the whisper, the nudge, and the 2x4, is like once you start to know the voice of like that whisper, there's many stories on like my whisper, and my whisper is you notice something. So like you're leaving the house and the water bottle has been in the corner there for the last 10 days and you haven't noticed. And now you're leaving the house and you notice it. The fact that you noticed it is it's like something is trying to tell you something. This happens to me all the time. So I'll notice it and then I'll leave the house and then I'll need it out of nowhere. And I'm like, damn, that's what you were trying to tell me. Like you were trying to tell me to like grab it or notice it or ask. And like, like another little question or statement comes that's like, take it. And you're like, take it. This shit's been there for 10 days. Why do I need to take it? So yeah, that's for me, like the things that I notice, the small voices that we tend to ignore, and we ignore them because they're so soft and subtle. But I've noticed that mine is getting louder and louder and is actually demanding to be heard. So I'm letting her speak. I'm letting her do her thing. Next part, unleashing power, voice, and becoming. All right. What am I ready to claim about myself? So I am ready to claim that I am more than just a leadership coach, mentor, all the things, right? Like there's so much that goes within me, or like with me. Like spirituality is such a big part of my life that I don't get to talk about quite enough. And that's my fault. Like just me not wanting to put it out there. But it's definitely going to be part of it, because I can't give you the leadership part without giving you the other part, because for me, those two parts go together really, really well, and they complement each other. And like when I think about the types of clients I want to work with, I want to be able to talk about spirituality if that's what they want to talk about, if that's something that calls to them. I definitely want to have that conversation. I want to say the things that, are stopping you from reaching your next goal. And it's not just fortitude and it's not just strategy. There's a lot of things to uncover, and like we should talk about those things. And so I want to talk about those things. And that's what I'm ready to claim for sure. Next question. If I could whisper something to the version of me from 5 years ago, what would I say? That goes back to like my feeling of like 5 years ago, this is all I wanted. And so I would tell her, I don't know, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. Definitely certainty. But I wouldn't give this up, you know? I just would want her to know that everything's going to be okay. For sure. Even though deep down, you already know that. Next question. What legacy am I building? Not for the world, but for the little me inside who still needs to see what's possible, to see that it is possible. ChatGPT got really little personal here. The legacy that I want to build, I really believe in kindness, and I believe in like helping people, and so I think that's what like little Romie, that's who she always was. Like in my family, I was the kind one who helped everyone, right? And that was like, that is who I am naturally. Like I don't have to try for that. Like it's just part of me. And so I would want more people to know that being kind and helping people is rewarding, you know? What I want people to know about themselves and what I really want myself to know about myself is you can be, do, and have anything you want. You can have anything you want in this world, you know? And it would be a shame to not go and try. And I don't mean to shame you. That's not what I want to say. That's just a phrase, right? But man, you deserve it. Like that. Like that. People, there it is. I would want people to know that they're fucking worth it. You are worth it. You are worth it. You are worth it, man. You are worth you working to go get the life of your dreams. You are worth it. That's what I want people to know. That's what I want for myself and what I want for everybody else. Like, you're worth it. Go get it. Like, it's just you versus you. Yeah. Last question. What's one truth I'm no longer willing to hide? I think we said a lot on this podcast. I'm not going to lie, you know? I think the fact that I'll be talking about like spirituality as it relates to me, and these are my opinions, and how I think it all correlates, because I think it's all one really fun game if you can loosen up your grip and see it that way. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. Cool. Cool. I hope that this episode like reminded you that you don't need to wait for permission to start remembering who you are. And you guys are kind of front seat to me remembering who I am. And It's been a long time coming, but I'm happy I'm here. And I'm happy you get to see it. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you found this episode useful, please like and subscribe, share it with a friend, and let's make life, leadership, and legacy. Let's make it a thing. You know what I mean? Like let's be remembered for the good we did, and not just going through life mediocre because that's what they told us. Like, that's so crazy to me. But anyways, I'm going to ramble on forever here. So, yes, thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, share if you feel called to, and I will see you next time on another episode of Leadership from the Heart. Thanks, chat. See you later, dude.